shopgear.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Perez, and you're listening to Project Transformation on Gear Radio Network.
Welcome to Project Transformation, Episode 5, Numero 5, the one before 6.
Episode number 5.
That's right. Joined by my esteemed colleague, Ryan Wolfe. Ryan, why don't you go ahead and give him your social media profile information?
Good early evening or morning or afternoon, friends, whenever you hear this podcast. As Lewis said, I'm Ryan Wolfe, at WolfeBLTD on Twitter, Wolfe with an E. You can also check out Better Live Than Dead at betterlivethanddead.com and all across the Gear Network. Anywhere you catch a podcast, you can hear the myriad of podcasts in which I undertake: the Better Live Than Dead podcast, the Sabercast, Trust the Podcast, which is coming in hot with the football season right around the corner. Lewis, how you been, buddy?
Not bad. And you can reach me at MRLG Perez on Instagram, on Twitter, Louis G. Perez on Facebook. Send us some friend requests. Follow us. We post funny stuff. I've not been bad, man. I've been searching for a job. It's been an interesting time. It's sad that I had to leave my last job, but that's a story in and of itself. And I might have to bring back story time with Perez just to tell that story from our earlier Better Live Than Dead days. Other than that, man, things are good, bro. My wife is training for a half triathlon in Atlantic City in 4.5 weeks. So she's been doing a lot of running, a lot of swimming, a lot of biking. God bless her.
Absolutely.
Because, I couldn't do it. But so other than that, man, things have been good. How about you, bro?
I'm doing well, man. Actually, funny. You mentioned it. The podcast today is a good time for my little story time here. So we have a thunderstorm.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's story time with Ryan Wolfe.
With the Pizza Man. So last night we have a thunderstorm, which is not surprising, seeing as these thunderstorms have been happening a lot past couple of nights. With the hot and cold, warm and cool fronts rolling in, gets a little wild. We have some storms. Whatever, no big deal. So,
right.
My wife gets woken up, and then I subsequently get woken up last night by quite a loud thunder bang, or thunder boom, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
About 4 o'clock. My wife says, "Oh my goodness, I forgot to cover the grill last night. Do you remember if I did?" And I was just rambling, whatever, no idea. So I finally wake up, we go outside, and we take care of the grill. So I come back inside, and I see something on the blinds, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. That's just a giant moth." And I turn the light on, come to find out a small bat was in my house. I don't know how it got in my house, but it was in my house. So I
awesome.
ever so calmly shut the light off, went in the bedroom, grabbed the cat, shut the door, and said, "Well, now we have to figure out how to get rid of this bat." So some Google after some Google foo and watching the unquestionably one of the best movie scenes I think I've ever seen. And Black Sheep with Chris Farley and David Spade when they get a bat in their home. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what the problem is, but you should check it out. That's all I could think about. So we ended up putting the bat in a garbage can with a cardboard top over it, which I didn't cut a hole in it. So unfortunately, the bat has since passed, which rest in peace, Batman or Bat Child or whatever. But come to find out, there's another angle to the story. We are anti-vaxxers over at my house, apparently, because we never got my cat vaccinated. So that is happening next week or in 2 weeks. Because there was a communication breakdown between us and the vet. So what's going to happen is we're going to take the cat in and get her vaccinated. But right now she is unvaccinated. So I belong on Fox News, apparently.
Well, at least you don't think the world is flat, bro. You know, and then there's
I'm getting there.
So, that's the next step. So you got the bat in a garbage can, and you didn't release it when you got outside?
Yeah, well, what the internet said was that if you come in contact with the bat, and since it was our first time coming into contact with a bat, we weren't really sure what constituted as contact, which apparently if you're just around it, you're fine, but if it touches you, you need to keep it. Because if we had known that, we would have just released it and let it go, but we weren't sure, so the health department said, hey, because apparently you're supposed to call the health department. The health department said, hey, no big deal. Just make sure that no one was in contact with it, and you'll be fine. So that's something new learned, but that is hopefully not something I have to go through next time. I hope there's never a next time, but life always has some curveballs for you and some excitement, and it's wild. It's wild because I don't know how the thing got in the house, but I'll either find out or I'll never know.
Bats have a way, man. They can get in all types of way. My parents' house used to get bats all the time, and they no clue how they were getting in. So sometimes they crawl in through the chimney. You just never really know how they're going to get in your house. Absolutely.
Well, hey, good news is that we have taken care of it. I'll give the house a nice once over tonight to make sure everything's closed, make sure that all the crevices and the entryways into the home are handled, and then we'll move forward and on to bigger and better things from here. But we will never forget the fallen soldier, bat number one, who fell.
That's a good way to put it.
Absolutely.
So now, Ryan, the last time we spoke, you were talking about how you were, doing more running, and you were trying to get your mile time down past a certain minute threshold. Has there been any improvement upon that?
It's funny you should ask that, actually, because shortly after we talked about that, I started having some residual issues with my hip. Those out there who don't know, since I was 12 years old, I think it was, they told me that I have what's essentially referred to as snapping hip syndrome, where the IT band that goes from the hip to the knee is too tight, so it snaps, creates some pain throughout the leg, all that stuff. So you kind of got to work around it, work through it, stretch, roll, whatever, take it easy when necessary. So I started having a lot of trouble with that. Stopped going to the gym for a few days. At this point, I'm going to the gym roughly once a week. I'm trying to ramp it back up, but right now, I'm still doing okay. The last couple times I've gone to the gym, I'm kind of run walking, keep me around 12, 13, 14 minutes, but I'm able to do it. I know the one thing I've been struggling with too is that I've been putting on some weight because I've been lifting, so it's kind of hard to see the weight go up, and then see my body kind of changing. Like my muscles are getting a little bigger, I'm getting a little more toned. But then again, I'm like, oh yeah, but I'm hitting 200 pounds, and I'm like, this is not where I want to be. But then, again,
it's muscle though.
You see the changes, and you're like, you got to remind yourself, it's not bad weight, it's good weight. So there have been a couple different things that have been kind of working against me. But with school coming up, I've got school starting. I'm in my 10th year of college. No joke there. Legit. 10 falls ago, I started my first semester in college. Still at it. Haven't gotten an associate's degree yet. 3 classes away from graduating. But I start my class at MCC. Cross-registered at MCC. I start that. So there's that. Work's busy. I've got my Hawaii vacation coming up here in less than a month. So things are getting a little tight. I'm trying to keep myself honest with the gym, but frankly, it's been tough.
I completely understand, man. Trust me, I completely understand.
As they say, life gets in the way.
Yeah, absolutely. It really does. And it's just a matter of, you're still going, though. At least you're going once a week.
I'm trying. I'm really trying, yeah.
So you're still trying. You still got that the edge of your mind, and you're still trying to make things happen. So that's an important thing. At least it's there. But you're
Let's put it this way. I was going to say real quick. Let's put it this way. I still feel bad when I don't go, and I think even though I'm not going, I still think that's a very important thing to note because if you should never feel obligated to work out, but it's nice to hold yourself accountable. So I still hold myself accountable. Like, I'm sitting here right now and I'm drinking a 1911 tropical small batch hard cider. It's real good. And then before we got in the air, my wife had bought me some caramelized cashews from Oliver's down the street. So like clearly they're incredible. Clearly this is not like I'm not eating strawberries and bananas and carrots and whatnot. I'm drinking an alcoholic beverage and eating some candy, essentially what equates to some candy. So, you got to keep yourself honest. I could be doing a lot better, but I'm still holding myself accountable.
I understand. Hold on a second. Before we continue, what makes it tropical, the 1911?
It says here, tart pineapple with hints of mango.
Ooh, I got some of those.
Handcrafted in New York, made from 100% fresh cider, treated canned, gluten-free, 6.5% alcohol by volume. On the back of it, it says here, on the sweetness scale, it's a 4. Best enjoyed on a beach with friends, but if you're stuck in reality, the sweet and tart characteristics of pineapple and mango will help transport you to the sand and salty air.
That you know what? That's enough to sell me. I got to try those because I got to be honest with you. The 1911 black cherry, that's delicious.
It's nice because it goes down. It goes down well,
Oh yeah, the black cherry is one of my favorite hard ciders. That tropical one sounds like I need to go pick myself up a 6-pack. So, if you're listening to this, Project Transformation, yes, we're talking about beer. You have to understand something. You can't deny yourself things that you enjoy.
No.
Because all that's going to happen is you're going to feel worse about yourself when you do finally have something that you enjoy. It's all about moderation. You have to be able to moderate. Now, if you can't moderate, maybe you shouldn't have some 1911 hard cider. I'm not saying, like, if you come from an alcoholic background, definitely do not have one. Probably not a good idea. But if you are able to moderate it, enjoy some things. So, we're talking about the gym, and it's been, I'm not going to lie to you, it's been about a month and a half since I've been to the gym. I need to get back, and I know this. I got things planned. I need to get back into the gym. But, like you said, life gets in the way. For a while, I was working, my primary plus the part-time job. I was there quite often at the part-time job for a while, so I wasn't getting home till about, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and then we got to have dinner. And by the time dinner's over, there's maybe an hour left to when the gym is open, and it's not feasible. The last couple of weeks, it's been more of I'm a kind of stressed thing. And when I'm stressed, I don't really want to go to the gym. I kind of just want to relax and smoke cigars, which I'm going to do anyway, by the way. But, so I need to get back to the gym when I notice. So I didn't go to Weight Watchers for 3 weeks. And the first week, I actually had my new wrestling show, Underworld Champions. You check us out on Facebook, Underworld Champions on Facebook. Look us up. So I had to be there for a long time that day because the bell time's at 1:30. Show starts at 2 o'clock. So you get there early. You got to, make sure the ring is getting set up. I'm the president, so there's a lot of other things that I had to do. And then the second week, not going to lie to you, I just slept through my alarm. My wife woke me up at one point and was like, "Hey, baby, I'm heading to Weight Watchers. I'll meet you there." And we tend to drive separate because after Weight Watchers, we go to breakfast, and then I go straight to Santiago Cigar Factory to open the shop on Sundays at 12 o'clock. So I was like, all right. And then, bro, I just fell right back asleep. I don't know what happened. And then the third week, my wife was out of town running a race, and she left really early. And if I had left it to get to Weight Watchers at 9:30, I wouldn't have had time to come home and spend time with the dog, quality time, until I had to be at the shop. And so I just stayed home until I had to open the shop because I didn't want to leave the dog alone for a long time because I wasn't sure when Melinda was going to be home after her race. So I went back to Weight Watchers 2 Sundays ago, and I'm not going to lie to you, I was nervous. I was like, I probably gained a ton of weight because the 3 weeks that I wasn't going, I was observing the plan, but not really well. Because I'm a stress eater. And being out of work, like for those of you who don't know, like I said, when I left my job, it was a crazy story, but I put in my 2 weeks notice, and I was willing to give them 2 weeks, and they walked me out an hour and a half later. They still had to pay me for those 2.5 weeks, which was cool, but it was still kind of stressful. I thought I had a job, and it fell through. So the whole looking for a job thing's been just kind of eating on me. But so when I went back 2 weeks ago, I thought for sure I had gained like 8,000 pounds. Fortunately, I had lost 1 pound.
Okay, it's how it works sometimes.
Right. So I had lost like 1.2 pounds. And then, I thought to myself, you know what? You got your podcast. You're doing this for your health. You really need to get on it. So I went back to really observing the plan last week. And this past Sunday when I went to Weight Watchers, I lost 6 pounds last week.
Damn. Good work.
Yeah. Thank you. So that puts me at 56 point something pounds for the year. So that really motivated me because during the summer I was just up and down. So that really, knowing that I could get back on the plan and drop the weight like that was pretty darn cool. And to lose 6 pounds in 1 week, 5.8 pounds, we round up to 6. It's just motivated me to stick on the plan this week. And so it's really, to me, it's been about knowing where I've been falling short and just correcting those issues, which is, what I've been doing. So weight-wise, I feel good about that. I feel good about the fact that I was able to drop the 6 pounds last week and get right back on the plan. But now I need to just motivate myself to get back to the gym.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I tried waking up early, like 5 a.m. and going to the gym. And I did. I had one day where it worked out perfectly. It was fantastic. And, I went to the gym, felt great, went to work, was like, this is fantastic, awesome, great, and then I haven't done it since because it's been a struggle to wake up early.
Right.
Because, you go to bed late and I don't want to go to bed at, 11 o'clock and wake up at 5. I'd rather go to bed at, 10 and sleep until 6:30. That would be very nice. But with that being said, I would rather go to the gym in the morning, before work, than come home, eat dinner, and then, have to kind of fit it in because, obviously I don't get to see my wife a whole lot during the week, especially if she's working.
Right.
Because she'll work 8 to 8. So, I'll get home at 5:45, got to eat something, go to the gym, come home, shower. By that time, it's, 8:30. So, again, it's one of those things where it's hard to find the time, but I got to make the time. I don't need to find it. I got to make it. I want to go bad enough. I got to make it happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Like, to me, I thought about going in the morning especially before work, but my problem is, and it's a simple one, with my Milroy's disease, I have to be careful about my feet touching those type of floors. I have water shoes, but I've gotten sick before while wearing the water shoes. So I don't like showering at the gym. I'd rather just come home being all stinky and shower here. And with me, making sure I had the time to get to the gym, work out, come home, shower, and still get to work was not feasible because, like you know, I don't necessarily want to get up that early.
And like, don't get me wrong. When I wake up and I was going to say, don't get me wrong. When I wake up early and do it, it's great. But it's just that waking up, getting yourself out of bed, getting ready, going to the gym, it can be difficult.
Right. See, I'm more of a night owl. You know, I can't go to bed before 11:30, 12 o'clock. Like, if I do, it feels weird to me. And I've always been like that, you know, especially when I was a bouncer. You know, when you're a bouncer, you're up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's kind of just always stuck with me. So going to bed real early is difficult for me. I recently applied for a job that if I get it, you know, I got to be to work by like 6 a.m. So I would have to completely adjust my sleeping patterns, and that will be, it's going to be difficult.
Absolutely.
But, you know, if I get the job, I got to be there at 6 a.m. I got to do it. And then after that, you know, that'd be nice because you get out like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you have a good amount of the evening and afternoon left. I can go to the gym after work and still have time to do other things, you know. So that would be a benefit. But if I don't get that job and I get another job, getting up like and be going to the gym beforehand, that'd be tough.
Yeah, I think for me, I just have to. It's all about keeping yourself honest. And I know I've talked about this on the podcast before with you, but it's all about not, you know, don't overexert yourself, because if you continue to push yourself and be miserable, oh, you know, I don't like to wake up every morning going to the gym, or I don't want to do it every night, whatever. Change it up, do something different. Because if you can find a way to make it enjoyable, there's no stopping you. But once you start to dread waking up and going to the gym, or you know, dread eating healthy, like that's when you know you got to take some time and just let yourself kind of reset. I think that's where I'm at right now. Where like I'm trying to push myself through this lull and find out and kind of land somewhere where I go, okay, you know what? This is why I want to do this. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. And then I'll figure it out and go from there.
Yeah, no, sometimes that's what you need to do, man. That's definitely what you need to do sometimes. And what I think I'm going to start doing is, before it starts to get cooler, I might start going to, you know, some of the outdoor tracks that you can just walk in. Because I hate treadmills. And sometimes where I'm at, I don't want to drive necessarily to the JCC. And so that's a ride sometimes for me, especially if it's during rush hour or,
absolutely,
you know, sometimes getting over there is tough. There's a gym that I go to 5 minutes away from me, but like I said, it doesn't have a track. It's all treadmills. So I might start going to some of the outdoor tracks around here and just walking that way. Put in an hour and a half just walking the track. That's what I'm seriously thinking about doing. And I need to get back to the gym so I can start walking the pool again. I've committed to, like I've talked about before, doing that indoor try next year. And I know John Escobar, who I had on the podcast previous to this one, he wants to do it with me. And he's already done a couple of 5Ks. And he told me the other day he's been going to the pool. And so he's full bore in there. So I need to dedicate myself and get back and start doing that myself. So I'm there with you, man. It's just a matter of making the time to do it.
Absolutely. Find out what makes you tick and then stick with it.
Exactly. And that's the important part. But you know what? Listen, if anyone out there is listening to this and if you're struggling with the same things we're struggling with, you know, reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help you out, listen to you.
Or you help us out. I mean, for seriously,
right.
For no joke. Like if there's something that you do that you think might help us, we'd be more than happy to try it out.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say next, but beat me to it. Thank you very much.
That's what I'm here for.
That is what you're here for. That's why we're so good together, bro. That sounded weird. but you know what I mean. So anyway, so that's you know what, let's I think that's a good tone to wrap it up on. I think we're going to call it a night, call it a podcast. So thanks for listening. Ryan, why don't you give them your deets one more time?
Absolutely. You can check me on Twitter at WolfeBLTD, Wolf with an E. Check out any Better Live Than Dead podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, iHeartRadio, wherever you get a podcast, you can get either the Better Live Than Dead podcast, the Sabercast, or Trust the Podcast. I almost forgot about that one. But how can you forget about a football podcast when football is only a few weeks away?
About to begin. Yeah, I agree. Check those podcasts out, people. And you can reach me at MRLGP. Oh, let me try that again. Mr. LG Perez on Instagram, Twitter. Luis G. Perez on Facebook. I tend to be the one with a cigar in my mouth in my profile picture. So send us a follow, send us a hi, say hello. We'll respond back to you. Once again, this was Project Transformation, episode number 5. We appreciate you listening. And Ryan, thank you again.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
And everybody, have a great night. Bye-bye.
See you.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.
Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
This is the Fat Man.
And the world-famous R-rated podcast is now on the Gear Network. The Wrestling Show with Sleazy and the Fat Man is classless and raunchy commentary on the wrestling business today. Our multiple hosts, including Sleazy the Fat Man, Chip Willett, and NEW owner Travis Kenning, give a differing take on news, rumors, reviews, and previews of the entirety of the worldwide pro wrestling market.
We do what we want, we say what we want, and we don't give a at all. That's just the way we go.
Check us out on the Gear Network.